Any kind of pulse chain rumblings that you have heard, Ewok, continuing on the Richard Hart ecosystem? I haven't seen too many RH tweets himself over the last week since whenever his last one about a week ago, but we're
Yeah,
about due for one maybe.
we
But
are
yeah,
due for one, but I haven't
yeah,
heard anything. The last I heard was, the bug that they had found where the Aragon client was creating a different Merkle tree.
yeah.
I don't know if it got fixed. I haven't heard anything. Um, Hopefully it is. I heard some people say that Dev Kyle showed up in the GitLab or GitHub, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's maybe lending a hand with something. Very intelligent guy. He's one of the main reasons, if I haven't ever said it before, he's one of the main reasons that we have the T-share system. Um,
Mm.
so it was his magical mind that kind of came up with that whole um, compound interest based on share rate. So
Mm-hmm.
extremely intelligent guy. So yeah, he made an appearance in there, and he's lending some expertise or knowledge. Yeah, I haven't heard anything though, other than just more speculation of, you know, the next week or the next 2 weeks or 2 more weeks. It's the same news, nothing concrete until we actually hear it from the big man himself.
Well, I think that maybe this will be an interesting question because we, as well as many other channels, have covered Pulse Chain ad nauseum for over a year now. But what do you think would be, in terms of a timeline? Most people would have said this at this point last year, but most people think that it will launch this year. Uh, when do you think? Not saying I don't know how much Richard is necessarily timing the market. I think he is, but there also is probably really stuff going on, obviously,
Right.
as far as development. And ETH did change to proof of stake during this time, and blah blah blah. But what do you think about when would it start to become time where, like, look, Hex is a fever pitch ecosystem. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where it's like, oh, Pulse Chain came out too late and people don't care anymore. I don't. It's going to be hard to get to that with this community. But when would you start to consider, like, the missing of the window, I guess, so to speak? Because it really, I know you still think we're going lower, but I feel like right now is a pretty damn optimal time if it were to come out. Like right now would be phenomenal, or this quarter anyway, maybe quarter two. But really,
Yeah.
I think, like, as long as it is this year, you've got the wind in your sails.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
agree.
like,
I
yeah,
agree. And I think quarter two would be ideal. I think if we can get testnet 3 version 3 out this quarter, and then that would kind of carry everybody over, and you know we wouldn't have all the people saying, here we go again, another year.
mm,
Let me fud everything and try and sink the price just because I'm pissed off that I overextended myself and put too much money in the sacrifice. There is that.
yeah,
Whether they're pissed off or upset, no matter how it goes, they're invested. So you've got a lot of people um, that are have an interest in when it does launch, so to say. Um, so yeah, I think ideally we get testnet between now and the end of March, and then quarter two, I think would be a good time. I still don't know that Richard thinks the bottom is in either, because
right.
we haven't heard him say anything about it either. He said, I'll stop bragging about calling the top when I call the bottom, and he hasn't done that either. So I don't know what he thinks. Plus, we've got the documentary, all of that. So there's a lot of timing, and we know Richard is very good at marketing. If there's one thing that he does extremely well, it's market things and get eyes on the new things. So he's not a coder. We do know that. He's not
Yeah.
one of the ones writing code. So he'll stick to what he does best. And I do think while he's not timing it, the market is to, in a sense, I think while he still doesn't think that it's bottomed, let's get as much done and make it as good as we can until that actually happens. So he's taking advantage of, I think, the time to make things better. And
Yeah.
obviously, we know it's close. Had those clients all synced up, I think we probably would have had something by now. It just didn't, and I hope when they fixed it, or if they fixed it, they didn't find something else too. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're 100% right with what you're saying about, maybe not thinking that the bottom is in, but hey, if I still have some more time, let's perfect everything as much as humanly possible, which
yeah,
we know he is prone to do. I mean, that's
yeah,
what happened with Hex itself,
oh yeah,
and that's why, one of the many talking points and bragging points from him and any Hexakin is the 100% uptime, and especially in a world where so many of these layer ones, Solana,
fail,
constantly are down and have all
yeah.
this stuff going on. So it is a big talking point.